if you guys just want to introduce yourselves again and the band real quick.
Cool. We're Cinema. I'm Austin Engler, the bassist.
I'm Griffin Bush. I play guitar and I sing.
My name is Mari Chrysler, and I play guitar and sing and play piano.
Logan Bush. I play drums.
Reed T-Wold, I play guitar.
Nice. Hell yeah. So, how do you guys feel about like a 5-band like lineup? Have you guys all done that before? Because I know you guys were a 3-piece before.
Yeah.
And then Death Cow was 4-piece.
Yeah, we had like 4 with like just like filling guitarists throughout the time, but I think it's great. I love it. I think it's a lot of fun to just be able to. I mean, it makes the stages a little tight sometimes, but that's the only thing, having to like fumble over.
Is it tough to coordinate like schedules and stuff when you're getting together like band practice and you guys live like cities away?
Yeah, it's like if we're gonna practice, we really gotta be ready for it. So,
but I mean, like we're on the road pretty consistently, so it's like we don't really notice because we're touring all the time.
We'll just like schedule practices around that, like come a couple days early or something like that.
Yeah, like if we have like a 3-week tour, we'll take half a week and book it at the beginning just for practice every day or something, just to like keep. But we play shows pretty consistently to where we're always like pretty updated. Yeah.
Nice. Hell yeah.
I think the biggest advantage to a 5-piece is everybody has their little like job in the band, so like we don't have to hire out a lot of stuff. We can just do it ourselves, which is really powerful.
So like on the business side of
Logan books all the shows. I do all the video stuff. Mari does all the graphic design. Griffin writes all the songs. Reed helps write the songs.
Yeah, cool. Yeah. That's super nice to outsource everything. Compared to like I kind of press a lot of the buttons for my project, but
it really helps. And then you like it's your voice coming out of the like everything, instead of like you trying to get your voice through other people, and it's like it's impossible. But when you do it yourself, it's like purely
more genuine. For sure. Yeah. Do you guys are independent?
Yeah. Right we are.
Cool. Do you guys ever like have any goal to get signed or eventually, or
I mean, like
what does that look like?
If like getting signed with the label like helps us like with our goals that we have, then like totally.
Yeah.
Like it's not really like we need to get signed, but it's like if we want to do these things, we need to get signed, then we should get signed. But like if we can do it on our own, that'd be great. But like.
Yeah, I mean, it's always ideal to like be independent, I feel like, but I feel like if we, find a match,
lines up,
like we always want to take care of ourselves and not get in any like sticky situation that we can't like maneuver in. But it's something we're open to. We've always talked about being open to having something like that happen.
Yeah, like nothing's off the table, like in this band at least. Like if we think it will be cool, then like we're down for anything.
For sure. What do you guys do for day jobs right now?
I work at Yaya's Pizza and Beer with Reed, but Reed's in the kitchen. I'm at the bar.
Nice.
And it's
pizza spot.
Yeah, it's like they got 2 of them up in Lincoln, where Reed, Mari, and me live. And yeah, it's a fun little pizza spot.
Yeah.
And good pizza. Like to bring. It's got like that. Everyone who works there is like, they're like in a band or doing something like that. Like it's very open to being like, this is not like your career. Right. Like do other things on top of this. So
they're cool with you taking off.
Yeah, for sure.
Weeks at a time.
Yeah. Which is very lucky. They're cool with that. So
totally.
Yeah,
but then me, Mari, and Austin are co-workers at a nonprofit in Wichita called Metopia. It's like a artist development, like sponsorship type thing.
Oh shit!
And like I do the booking for them. Mari does graphic design for them. Austin does like video content, and editing and stuff for them.
So you're like constantly in that world still.
Yeah, and like we all kind of have been anyways. Even when we had like other jobs like that, like we've all had, plenty of jobs, but now we can kind of do remote work on the road.
Sure, right.
and like I can keep
And
looking.
they
and we
understand too that you can.
Oh yeah, they were all
They
in
want
on
to send
that.
us out. They want
That's
to go
like,
to or go to. Or,
and they want to hire musicians on, so they have a job that allows them to focus a little more on like their own projects, and
Totally.
you're helping other people with their projects.
Totally.
And it's like all local, so it's like helping the local scene as well.
Yeah, and when you're hiring musicians too, they understand the whole kind
Yeah.
of back end of everything. And
Yeah,
it's like a
and
win-win.
everyone's in it together, and we all kind of get where everyone's coming from.
Hell yeah, that's awesome. Nice. How long have you guys all been? So 2021 is when Social Cinema kind of started,
Yeah.
and then you guys were in two different bands we were talking before, and you guys met on the road kind of thing.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, me, Griffin, and Austin were in a band called Kill Vargas from Wichita since, like, we started playing shows in, like, 2013 when we were really young. And then
Yeah,
we
that's
sta-
a while ago.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
That's a
mean,
while.
we were, like 13,
Yeah.
14 when we were playing our first shows. And then we, like, did that for years, started touring, and met Reed and Mari in their band called Death Cow. And they lived at a house venue called the Death Cow House, and we'd go play there all the
Cool.
time and like crash on their floor. And then they'd come to Wichita and play with us, and like we just became friends. And then we both like were doing really cool things in our cities, so we were like, hey, we're like doing we have a similar vibe going on.
Yeah.
Anyways, like before anything, and then when lockdown happened, those bands kind of dissolved. And it didn't mean to be this way. Like, at first we were like, we'll just wait it out and then we'll go back on the road, no big deal. And like, the longer it went on, it was kind of like, wow, let's just start over. And they were kind of in the same boat, so we just
Join forces.
yeah. And then right off the bat, like we were able to play really good shows in Wichita and Lincoln.
Right.
Like as soon as we were public, which was like a huge help. Because it was just all the people who had been to our previous bands shows coming out. So
How are the scenes in Lincoln and Wichita?
They're very good.
Yeah.
A lot of really cool bands. Wichita has a lot of pretty cool like DIY stuff as well, kind of going. Lincoln, not as much on DIY. It's just mostly like bars, and they got a few popping up now, but
It's still recovering from COVID for sure.
yeah.
In Lincoln especially. Like there's not as many bands, but they're just slowly popping up. And like now, like I feel like during lockdown, people were just like, okay, well I'll just like devote myself to like whatever I can make money off of. And I feel like people kind of stopped doing things for fun, and it's all about making money now. So people, like older people stopped being in bands, and just all the old bands fizzled out. But there's like high school bands popping up now
Hell yeah.
that are really good.
And Lincoln has the college.
Yeah.
That college.
Yeah.
Does
We
Wichita
know.
have a college?
Yeah, Wichita State is
Yeah.
Okay.
The
the
Shockers.
college there. Yeah.
For sure.
But like Lincoln will get back, I'm sure. Like there's definitely like potential for it to be back to the way it was. Because
Yeah.
before it was like DIY. Like there's a ton of kids going on,
Yeah.
a ton of shows going on. It was great.
And there's a lot of people who like really believe in it. Like
Yeah.
my brother's a booking agent in Lincoln, and he runs like 3 venues.
Hell yeah.
So
He's like pretty much keeping like DIY. Like he's a big part of it, anyways.
Sure.
yeah.
So there are people in Lincoln who are like really dedicated to keeping it going. So
Yeah.
it'll always be going.
Is there like a pretty good attendance at like DIY shows for the most part consistently?
Yeah, I mean it depends on the show and the night and everything, but consistently, like, there are kids that always like to go to shows.
yeah.
It also
And-
depends on the venue. Like there's built-in audiences at some places.
Yeah.
Like there's this new punk DIY venue, and they just like every time there's like 30 kids there at least.
Sure. Yeah. Do you guys feel like there's a lot of turnover with the venues because it's a college town? Like, are the people running the venues college students and they graduate?
Yeah,
and
there's a
then-
lot of that.
Yeah.
Especially, there's this one venue, when I started college, it was called the Mez, and then it was nothing for a while, and then it got new ownership, and then it was called the Mez again, and then something, like I think it was during COVID, and then it was HQ, and then it was the Dark Room, and now
Oh,
it's the
shit.
Swamp.
Damn.
So
I was
it's
wondering
already
what the
the
swamp
swamp.
was.
Yeah.
I was like, what's the swamp?
There you go.
It's yeah.
But we've like
like
played
changing.
all eras of it, you know, and
Sure.
like
Yeah.
And it's different every era. Like there's
Yeah.
a different audience every time. It's really cool to see.
Interesting. Lots of history.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just like evolving.
well, it's like good to know like okay, like it will carry on, like someone will do it, and
Yeah.
like they're, you know, and that's like where Lincoln is right now. It's like those people are like starting to do like cool stuff, and it's starting to build up, and like bring in cool touring bands, like bigger touring bands. We got to play with Sweet Pill at a local venue in Lincoln the other week, and that was Sam Sam and JD, like both, and they're both from Lincoln, and so yeah, there's really cool people doing
Hell
dope
yeah.
stuff. Same with Wichita, it's like the same vibe,
Yeah.
and similar like size of scene as well, like amount of bands and like age range of
Right.
bands and people that come.
I'm trying to compare it to like Milwaukee's scene, cause like, do you guys feel that there have always been bands kind of like getting to a point where you can tour outside of the city and start playing like more, like doing more U.S. tours, or do you feel like you're on the forefront of it? Like where? do
No,
you
I feel like
fall?
Yeah, there's like always been bands that like it's not like where it's like wow, bands pop out of the city all the time, but like there are bands that like make it and out or up out of the local scene and like do stuff like that. But I mean, I don't think it's like any less or any more than any regular city. Like
Sure.
and like I don't think Wichita holds us back nor like gives us an advantage. It's just like a really
Well-
cool city to play music in.
I feel like everyone wants to go out on the road, and like having it be like right in the middle is like a really good point to go anywhere.
Yeah.
Like at Wichita,
Right.
like if you start in Wichita, you can go
Very
north,
central.
south, east, west, wherever you want to go. Just it's like you're always to start there. So it is a good like launching point
Yeah.
to get on
Do
the
bands
road.
come through on tours to like bigger headliner bands through Wichita and Nebraska?
I would say like 60% of the time we have to go to like Kansas City or Minneapolis.
Or like Omaha.
Yeah, Omaha is
Yeah.
good, which that's only 45 minutes from Lincoln.
Oh,
so.
Yeah.
And Wichita's like getting more and more as the years go, and like more like crazy ones. And like there's always been really good shows that have come to Wichita, but it's not like Minneapolis or like Chicago nearly like. But there are bands that will like do it on an off day and be like, wow, that was great, and
Right.
then make it a part of their like Sloth Rust. We got to play with them last year because they just had an off day on their tour, and they were like, "This was awesome!" And all these kids came, and now it's like a part of this upcoming tour. Like the end of
They're
this
coming
tour
back.
is
Why wouldn't they?
yeah, exactly. And like,
sure.
and they would have never known, you know. But then they came and they were like, "Wow, this city's cool," and like, it's not like a small town. Like it's a big downtown.
Yeah.
And like, you know, there's that college, and we have a sport or a Interest Bank Arena that's like 11,000 cap arena.
Sure.
And like the Foo Fighters came.
Didn't
like,
you guys play in like an arena or something?
we did the Shockers basketball arena,
Yeah.
but that was
Okay.
we were the opener for Saint Motel.
And they like split it in
Yeah, so,
half.
yeah, it wasn't like a
Oh, yeah.
fucking
Yeah.
like, but for us,
Still,
we were
that's
like,
like-
yeah.
Oh yeah.
And there was like, it was still more people than we
Oh,
played
yeah.
to on average,
Yeah.
like by far.
Yeah. What was attendance for that?
It was a little over 2,000 by the time Saint Motel was
Yeah,
playing.
at like its
Okay.
peak. I think,
But like we
2000.
probably played to like a little over 1,000 people.
Cool.
Which is like
It was
that's
so
like
fun,
3
yeah.
shows for
Yeah,
us
it's-
in one, you know,
Yeah.
like in Wichita at least. Like probably more than that, but
Mm-hmm.
it was great, and like it was cool to do that because it was like okay, like we can do stuff like this, and we did great.
Yeah, that
And-
one particularly, like, we played that arena, and then literally the next weekend we were in Kansas City playing like a super DIY basement show.
Yeah, we had a
Yeah,
whole
it's like-
week of house shows like the week after that arena show,
Yeah.
and it was like, and it was funny because there were kids from the big show that came to the tour. And we're like, whoa, what the fuck? Because they
Right.
just like never been to a house show, or like we played this spot called the Lumberyard in Mulvane, Kansas, and it's like out on this farm, and it's just
Sure.
like this crazy punk rock like DIY. It's like in the shed kind of, but it's awesome. But you could tell a bunch of these kids had never been to a show like that, and they were like having a good time.
Holy shit! Right.
But like when they came, they were like, "Where are you guys playing?" We were like, in there in that shed. It was like, "Don't step on any glass out there." No, like, but they had a great time. So
Yeah.
that was kind of cool to like be able to do big stuff like that, and then do small
Kinda
stuff
get
like
back
that,
to it
and still like put on, like we think we're putting on a good show in both areas. You know?
Right. That is important for like a local scene to have local artists on bigger bills when they're coming through.
Yeah.
For
Yeah.
sure. Because I mean, for me, because we got to open up for Wet Leg at like
Dude,
Castillo, which
let's
is like
go.
fucking nuts.
Yeah.
Was that here in
And that
town?
was, yeah. It
I'm
was
very jealous.
It was their first night on their U.S. tour, and it was just like a pinnacle moment for all of us because we were like, I was like, this could either go really well or really bad, and I'll never do music for the rest of my life. And it went really good. And we brought like so many fans and friends and
Nice.
family to come out and see it. And like after that moment, it was like kind of just that's one of the stepping stones I think of.
Yeah.
As far as like, okay, there's something here. And
Yeah.
like,
A lot
just
of people
keep
think being in
going.
a band like you're small and then the next day you're huge, but that's not true. It's
Yeah.
one small show at a
Straight
time.
up.
You know?
Totally.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think like you were saying, we did a DIY show in Milwaukee like the week after, and it's just like, okay, we're back to it.
Back to reality.
Contain
No.
multitudes.
No, like we get to do like really cool shows, and like we're doing more and more of that kind of stuff, and so it's helping us use that momentum from like a huge show like that
Yeah.
to like use on our DIY tours.
Totally.
And like there are kids who like will be like interested that we get to do like shows that
Yeah.
level
Yeah.
and like still come play at their house venue and stuff, but like we'll play wherever we can.
Right. And it's important for like building an EPK kit too, just like
Yeah.
add it to the resume, and it just
Yeah.
looks good for when you're booking and everything.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think in that way, like the local scene can really help artists expand by
Mm-hmm.
getting these bills together and making those connections kind of happen.
Yeah.
And like giving the small band a chance to like play at their full potential with the huge stage and lights and like
For
full
sure,
sound.
yeah.
It's like seeing like a band at a house show, like nothing's better, but there is a difference when it's like at a big theater and
Yeah.
you really get to like give your whole
Yeah.
show full power
Right.
and everything. So kind of get to see your local band in a different way,
Right.
which could be like really cool and get more people into that band.
Just to pivot a little bit, what is your? Do you guys have like a favorite city to play in outside of your hometowns?
Probably Kansas City
Yeah.
or Minneapolis.
I was-
Yeah.
I was gonna
Yeah,
say
like-
that too.
Or
Sure.
Fort Collins.
In terms of
Fort
like
Collins.
us having good shows there, those are like the three best cities.
Sure.
But like,
those are just
location wise, like there was some. I like Logan, Utah was awesome.
Yeah, that place is awesome.
It was like this mountain town in Utah. and
Oh, I
it's
think I
just,
saw
like, a
that
mountain
video
range.
when you guys were like
Yeah.
loading up in.
That was
That
in,
was
that was in
huge.
El Dorado.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that was El Dorado, Colorado,
Yeah.
and it was like this. That was literally a mountain town with like 12 houses, and it was on the side of a mountain, loaded all the way up. And
What kind
like,
of show was that? Was it like just DIY?
Yeah.
Yeah.
show?
It was crazy
they were
though.
they were
had that
scared
cat
the
bit.
whole time that every time they started out joking, but the more they said it, I was like, is this an actual safety concern? Because they were always like, we really hope the house doesn't slip off of the mountain with
Yeah,
all these
at first
people.
it was
They were
like
like,
nonchalant.
they were like,
Yeah.
yeah, we've done shows here before. It was like one show, and then I asked the dude who was running it, like towards the end of the night, and he's like, no, we just had one band play.
And he was
man.
like, and then the guy who owned the house was like kind of worried about the support team.
yeah,
because
they're
it
like,
was
not a lot of
literally-
people can't go out onto the deck.
Yeah, they were
because
trying to get people on the
Right,
deck, but
right.
like it was hanging off of this cliff,
Yeah.
and there was this one support beam that was
And that was
like,
It was
where
like
you were
half
playing.
too.
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
and like there was 150 people there, and he
Holy
thought
shit.
he was like, we'll get 30, 40 people out. It'll be a good time because he lived right next door to his landlord too. So he was like freaking out
sure,
about
right.
that. There was like 100. All these kids came, and all the neighbors were like, "What the fuck?" Because all of a sudden there was like 90 cars in the area that
Holy
had never
fuck.
been there. And everyone was just like, "What is going on?" And all these kids just started walking up this mountain.
Yeah.
At
Why
one
has the-
point, there was like this logging guy who like was going up the mountain. He was like, "You guys need to move your cars." Like,
Yeah,
you
someone
can't, like,
blocked
run
him
down
in.
there.
And so he was at this house show running around all these
Trying to
kids
find-
being like, but then he ended up being super cool. Like once he saw what was going on, he was like, "Oh, this is
Oh,
awesome!"
right.
And he was like, he's totally chill. But
Yeah.
at first, I was like, "Oh," and then people kept threatening to call the cops, and it was just like one of those crazy shows.
There's
but
this.
it's great.
There's this. Someone that pulled in like from grocery shopping when we were unloading our gear, and she was like started asking about the show, but I think she was just trying to get like information to like find out where to shut it down, because she was like, oh, like what's the address? What's the exact? Is it that one right there? How'd you get up there?
People,
and then
I don't know if I want to tell you.
Yeah,
People kept asking like, "Oh, that sounds interesting. Maybe I'll have to go. Go look up."
She was like, "I'm gonna go." Like, it's like,
yeah.
you want to go to the house show?
Like,
I'm
Okay.
way too trusting of a person because I was like, oh yeah, bring your friends. Like,
Yeah.
that'd be awesome. Like, yeah, your dog can come.
Yeah, absolutely.
I feel like if there's only like if it's a small population and it's a weekend, I feel like most people would be so down to have that in their town.
Yeah,
I just think it was like,
it's happening.
Yeah.
I think it was just the shock of
Yeah.
it. Just all of a sudden, one evening, there's just 100 people, and you're walking in.
It's
The
literally
population
straight
has
up,
tripled.
like an unincorporated community. It's like in a valley, and there's
Yeah.
literally just like 6 houses.
There's like a post office there, and that's
So where
it.
did all
There's
the
no post
kids
office
come
'cause it's
from?
unincorporated.
Just from
What's-
surrounding cities, like all these kids just drove in from
Because
different
it was
cities.
by Boulder, right?
It was by Boulder,
Oh, I
yeah.
see,
And
okay.
so none of the bands were even from that area. We were all from like different places, but everyone just, there were 2 Colorado bands, but it was different cities.
Sure.
But I mean, people just heard about it because the lineup was really good,
Yeah.
and it was 4 bands, and like 4 really really good bands. It was awesome,
Fuck yeah.
and it ended up going great. But like, I don't know if he'll do it again.
I'm down to play it again.
Oh yeah, if he does it again, I would love to. That was so
Well,
much fun.
I thought they had that Halloween show there,
Oh, maybe
or
so.
like one of their Halloween.
But like the
shows.
load in after dark, no lights,
Someone
side of
had
a
to
mountain.
Just use their iPhone. Like,
Yeah, we were all
We
just
were
filming.
loading out, like about to stumble down the mountain.
Yeah.
did Justin fall loading in or loading out?
Loading out, and I grabbed him, but he like fell down that cliff, and like his leg was like fully extended, and he was just
Do you have a cart to like put everything on?
no, dude, we were
No,
just
the
like-
trail was literally
It was a
this,
trail.
Yeah, and just like
with just rocky this wide.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it was enough.
shit.
You couldn't get
was
like
like-
2-way. Like,
yeah,
you
it
had
was
to
one at a
wait,
time,
yeah.
like, and it was like 6 or 7 trips up and back, up
Holy
and down
shit.
just to get everything. But it was so worth
Yeah,
it. Like
probably
it
worth
was,
it.
and it was more fun because like we like to hike on tour anyway,
Yeah.
so we were like, hey, we're getting our hiking.
Good workout.
yeah.
Yeah.
And it was beautiful. It
Yeah.
was literally in like the foresty mountains.
Sure.
Just
Never,
a river right through the town.
Yeah, like a creek running through it. It's great.
Incredible.
What do you? Yeah. So you said you hike. Do you do? What do you do to like pass time when you get to a city and you have time before load-in? Like, what do
There's
you guys
pretty
like to
much
do?
like 3 different types of days that we have. One's a hiking day. One's like a vintage shop record store day, and then one's like a coffee shop day.
Oh yeah.
Or like we'll go to like parks or
Yeah.
museums or something sometimes.
Nice.
Yeah. Whatever you can do it for free, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We like
Yeah.
going to malls. And
Malls
just
is
looking
great.
Oh yeah. We had this when we go to malls, I like to see if they have, or just any arcade place in general. And sorry, I have to plug this. I like to play the basketball, like the mini basketball things, and like I try to break the record in every city that I find one in. And I
You do, like,
very
every time?
successful.
Going
Yeah.
really well.
Yeah. So
What is your secret or technique, if you don't?
it's
mind
just you
sharing?
gotta be fast. Like that. It's not about like because if you get enough shots up, you just got most of them will go in, but you just gotta keep going. Don't worry
You get
about it.
so in the zone. Like, you just be like,
Yeah, you can't look at anything else but the goal.
yeah.
Right.
And you just gotta keep going.
It's been going for years though. Like since our old band, we've been driving the malls and he's been breaking the record.
Do you what
We
do you
should
put
start
in on
cataloging.
the scoreboard to like so like somebody knows that this was you?
Oh, it doesn't. Unfortunately, most of them don't
Oh,
have
okay.
a. It's just like your score is the one that's on like the little screen, which is enough for me. No one has to know. But,
If you had 3 letters to
Uh,
signify yourself.
Oh, I don't know. Because I would do Dean, but that's 4.
That's 4.
Dang it. I guess my initials.
You could be MBK, the mall basketball king.
Yeah.
And everybody would know, oh, that's him. Who is he?
Incognito.
Yeah, it's just like it's a.
The
It's a
local
B.
or like the
Yeah.
Oh my God,
international
MVP.
legend.
No one knows who it is. It's like Batman.
There's one at a place called Landmark Lanes
Ooh.
in Milwaukee. I don't know what time you guys are headed up.
I think we have
there
to.
you go.
Yeah, we might.
Next time you're swinging through or anything.
Yeah.
Because that's what I'm starting to. I need to find places because like
We're going to book a tour
It's good.
specifically for that.
basketball tour.
Yeah, just like find
Okay,
my
basketball tour. Yeah. What
it's
do you
good
guys have planned for the winter coming up?
honestly
We're
not
gonna start
much.
Yeah.
recording.
Yes.
Yeah, we're working on a new project. So.
Nice.
Yeah,
Yeah.
getting ready for that, but
Do you guys have EPs out? Do you guys ever plan on releasing like a full length album?
That's
Or just
what-
keep doing that?
that's what the plan is for the next one. Because this year was they're all kind of like somewhat similar like batch of songs that we've been working on, but to just like practice in the studio and get more of a feel for that and just like get our legs under us, we did the EP route with like B-sides kind of for this album we've been working on for a little bit. So the full project was always in mind. I think we just thought, you know, we need a little more time with it, so we
Yeah.
did the singles like beforehand. But
Yeah.
Yeah, on this tour, we're promoting our first vinyl that we ever put out. It's a collection
Nice.
of all the songs we put out in 2023.
Oh shit.
So
Greatest
we're-
hits kind of thing.
yeah,
Yeah.
well,
It's just the songs we put out. And then it has like an exclusive live track on it as well. So
Cool.
we're pretty pumped about that.
yeah, it's our first vinyl. It's
Yeah.
all that good stuff.
Yeah, like all of us have been playing music for like 10 years now, and we finally have a
Yeah,
record.
yeah, for the first time.
They're expensive.
Oh,
I'm
yeah,
like
and-
into it. It's like
Yeah.
And like there's a lot of time that like you have to have it done like so many months in advance.
There's
and,
a lot
like,
of
Yeah, like
Yeah.
I think we submitted it in like May.
Yeah.
We got it in September.
And that was like fast.
Yeah, that was
yeah,
fast.
we
Yeah.
got really lucky.
yeah.
But like, yeah, like this route was good for us because we're still like very new, and we just didn't feel like we were ready to do like our debut album.
Yeah.
We didn't want to just put it out and then find people to listen to it. It's like, what if we put these other songs out throughout the whole year, and that way there are people there that when
Totally.
the album comes out,
Put some
people
feelers
will
out.
be into it.
Well,
already.
and like on that end, and also just for us, like you get better like
Yeah.
every time you work on a project, or at least you know that's the goal. So I think getting this year, because we worked at 3 different studios as well, so it was nice to just like know how to translate like what's in our heads now. So now when we go into the record, we have more of an idea on how to like translate the sounds we want into real life.
Do you record live normally, or do you always go into a studio and kind of just?
On like the rare occasion, we'll do like some. I think. No, we've never.
No,
Yeah.
But
Not
it's
for
like-
social cinema.
It's not like off the table though. Like
No,
we talked
no.
about doing, and we did in our old projects. We did like a live track at a studio in Atlanta where we just went in there, no metronome,
Yeah.
played
Yeah.
this song, and then like
no overdubs. either.
no
Yeah.
overdubs, and it was just like except for the
Wow.
vocals, but or the harmonies, but like. Yeah, like, and then there were times where we do records where it was like the drum and bass were live together and like other stuff was overdubbed, but not in social cinema yet.
I think now we know just like what kind of song we need to do that for, and
Yeah.
like what songs we need. You know, we've been doing it super. We've been doing the drums like Logan will do like the kick and snare, and then go back and do like the cymbals. And then we'll go back and do the toms like
Yeah.
on a separate track. So that's been fun to being able to like piece the drums together that way.
Do you work with different people each time to mix it, or
Um,
person? Or?
This year we went with Jeremy Wurst, and we think like we love working with him, so we
Nice.
want to keep working with him. But you know, we just work with whoever we are. It's mainly just like we like hanging out and stuff. Someone who can
Yeah.
get the best out of us that way.
The hang is always important.
Yeah,
Yeah.
especially in a setting like that.
Comfy. Yeah.
He's like, when we record with him, he becomes our therapist and our best friend.
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah.
He's like,
Yeah.
he's the best.
Like
Yeah.
when you work with him, he's in the band.
Yeah,
At that time,
yeah.
you know, like that's like that vibe that he gives off, and he gives you that vibe. Like he's like, all right, I'm in this.
Yeah.
You know, and that's what's fun.
Totally invested.
Yeah. And he like has great ideas and is really nice. But we've worked with a ton of people, and pretty much everybody's been really great.
Oh, yeah,
throughout
yeah.
all of our bands, and like on Kill Vargas side, anyways, and like. But Mari and Reed, I've known Jeremy forever.
Yeah, we started
Since they were
working.
little kids.
We started working with Jeremy in 2016, and we were like one of his first projects. Like we did
Sure.
my first band, and then like I was like, maybe we should like try and work with somebody else. Like I've never worked with anybody else before. And then Social Cinema recorded with like one other person, and I was just like, Miss Jeremy.
Yeah,
So
totally.
Yeah, it's a nice, like, I don't know. Yeah, it's a nice like relationship we have in the studio and well, in real life.
Yeah.
But,
Yeah.
But like
Yeah,
the
we're
studio vibe that we can
Yeah.
work together is like makes sense and everything.
it's also like some engineers aren't producers. Like they'll just like record, and that's like all that they'll provide. But like Jeremy has ideas and he'll produce and actually like add to the song.
Sure.
Like, yeah.
Nice. So when do you guys think that next album will be done? Or
oh,
released?
it'll probably come out like later next year.
Yeah, like October, I think. is
Yeah,
what
is
we're
that's
trying
the
That's
It's
a
like
goal.
the brainstorm. At
Yeah,
least.
yeah.
Like we're really early on it, but the songs are like written. Like
Yeah.
we have
Yeah.
all the songs that we're going to start working on.
We're going
and we
in.
have the studio time
Yeah.
ready.
We're starting in January.
Yeah.
Got a
Nice.
week booked with Jeremy, and it's gonna be sick.
Cool.
yeah.
So you do you kind of you said you have a week set aside with them? Do you spend like that whole week just working on?
Yeah, so
Project.
we have a week in January, a week in March, and then half a week in April booked with him.
Nice.
So we're
Nice.
we didn't want to just book out like a full month in the studio.
Yeah, no,
But yeah,
But it's out of state in Kansas City
Yeah.
where
Sure.
we're going, so it will be just staying there for the week, which I think will be good for
Yeah.
the album because it'll be total focus and like
Right.
this project was fun because we were just like recording at the studio in Lincoln, recording at the studio in Wichita, and it was just like putting together music for fun. But I think it'll be good for our album to just totally leave and just be in that world like while we're working on it, and like that's where we are, and no
Full
one's like
immersion.
going to work or like going home like because it's easy to do that kind of stuff when you're in town, but
Uh-huh.
that's why I think it'll be really good for us to like get out of town and like just totally
Get
be
away,
focused
little
on it.
vacation.
Yeah.
Seems like every time I like read about a record that I really love, they're always like, yeah, we rented out this house for like a year.
Yeah.
This will be
They're just
as
like
close as you
in
can
that
get to
world,
Yeah.
like fully, and like there's nothing that can pull you, like distractions or anything. Like
Seems like the house is always haunted too.
yeah,
Yeah.
haunted house.
Pretty sure that's how Justin Vernon did his first with
Yeah.
Bonnie Bear. He
Oh,
like,
yeah.
went up north. I think he was like, I don't know I forget what the story was. Either
I
he
think
was
he was like completely alone in a cabin or something.
yeah, something
Oh,
crazy
wow.
too. Yeah, with like one microphone or something
Yeah.
kind of thing.
Yeah. No, it'll be fun because again, I think that'll be a first for us. Like, well, you guys have at one point left to record somewhere, right?
You went to.
We went to Flat Black.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Flat
in
Black.
Iowa City.
Yeah.
That
place is
that
cool.
place is awesome because it's like it's a barn that's been like
Mm.
refurbished, and it's just like a super great studio,
Cool.
and there's like bedrooms and stuff in there. So
There's like a lot of iconic albums from like our scene that come from Flat Black.
Cool.
Just like in
Yeah.
the whole area around us, like plenty of
Yeah.
bands go there.
Right.
They do shows there too.
So Social Cinema, do you guys have like? Well, first, where did the band name come from, and then do you guys have favorite movies or like I don't know if that
Oh.
relates to like movies, but
Yeah.
No, I just saw it. I saw the Social Cinema words in an old newspaper, and I thought it was just like it had a nice ring to it.
Yeah.
And like yeah, like the concept of it is just kind of fun, like a
Movie
community,
theater?
like just like gather. Yeah, it's like it was. I can't remember exactly what it was, but I think it was just like a free show for like their community thing they did.
Gotcha.
But then I was just like, yeah, it's fun to say.
Yeah.
Um,
Every time you guys say it, I get like I perk up. Like, you're such a
Yeah,
sick.
yeah.
Oh yeah, it's just
Your
automatically.
own name. It's
Yeah.
funny.
Yeah. No, and that's there wasn't really any like super deep meaning behind it,
Nice.
but
We were just running out of time too.
yeah. The band name was literally
Yeah.
the last thing we had. Like we had all the songs, we had everything, and we're like, we can't decide on a band name.
But I think a part of it too is like if you really work hard, you can grow into your band name.
Oh,
It
totally.
becomes cool
Yeah.
if your band is cool.
Yeah, like there's so many bands that have the worst band names.
Yeah.
Like the Arctic Monkeys is a horrible band.
Yeah, it's a pretty
But they're
terrible band
cool,
name.
so like the Arctic Monkeys is cool.
Yeah.
Like you can make your not that like I don't like our band name, but like you, it's not as big of a thing as we were like worried about.
Right.
But I'm glad we picked what we did
Yeah,
because it
yeah.
fits the music and
Like once you have people and like a face or like colors and branding,
Yeah.
and music to kind of like link to it, like
Yeah.
kind of builds this whole like branding.
Yeah,
So-
absolutely.
Oh,
But
yeah.
like, what's your favorite movie, Austin? Which can just go down.
Oh,
the-
my favorite movie is The Prestige.
Oh, that's a
Oh,
good
is that
the
movie.
Magician?
The Magician
The
one.
Yeah, that's a
Twist.
great movie.
Ah, a little
Incre-
twist at the end.
Oh,
Sure.
When I watched that, I was like, this is incredible.
Yeah.
Oh shoot. I don't know.
It's a tough question.
I guess I like Prisoners a lot.
I was gonna
Jake
that-
Gyllenhaal and
Nice, yeah.
Hugh Jackman.
Oh, is that with their kids?
Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
and he
recently
like
watched that one,
went
too.
off and like Jake was the cop, and then he
Yeah.
was like doing his own like investigation and ended up doing crazy stuff. It was a great
Yeah,
movie.
Hugh Jackman's a
Film
crazy
and
motherfucker.
Oh, he was so
Both our
good.
movies have Hugh Jackman in them.
That's right.
Sure.
All right,
right.
favorite Hugh Jackman.
I honestly don't know a single Hugh Jackman movie besides Wolverine. No.
Oh,
What about the
Yeah,
Yeah, I
Greatest
think of
Showman?
Wolverine. Right?
I've
Oh,
seen
Hugh
that.
Jackman, right? He's Wolverine.
yeah. And then
No, my favorite movie is Paddington 2.
nice, yeah.
With Hugh Jackman.
That's what Paddington 3 should have Hugh
Paddington
Jackman.
3 with Hugh Jackman.
What is Paddington 2?
So there's this little bear, and he's in London, and he goes to jail,
Oh yeah.
Oh no.
and he has to escape prison, and that's Paddington 2.
It's it's honestly really
It's
good.
the
it's
greatest
after
movie
Paddington
of all
1?
time.
Yes, there's a
Yeah.
Paddington
Paddington
original.
1 is like probably top 10 movies of all
Okay.
time for me, but Paddington 2 is definitely it's like Paddington 2 and then like Portrait of a Lady on Fire and then Cars.
Yes.
Car sure.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
Mine is School of Rock.
Yes.
Movie.
That's
Influential.
That's rock.
Yeah, literally, like, that movie is as influential to me as any album that I've heard. Like literally, like watching
Yeah.
that movie is just like, all right, like this is like him and all those kids when the first jam scene when he plays Smoke on the Water and he's like one by one
Yep.
being like, okay, do this,
Really
do
breaks
this,
it
and
down,
then
yeah.
and then when he comes in, and I like how you can't tell what they're doing really at first because it's just like dun 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 dun, and then as soon as he starts playing that riff, everyone's like, oh, that's such a good scene, and there's just a lot of good moments in that movie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's like good because it's like it's a good story because they didn't win that contest. And remember, what's his name? Ned Schneebly,
Yeah.
or that was his fake name. He was all upset. He was like,
Sneeply?
and I remember him being like upset that they didn't win the first prize. He was like, "What the fuck?" And all the kids were like, "Hey, dude, like that
Yeah.
fucking rocked. Who cares?"
Yeah.
Like, and I was like, "Oh, that's what it's about. Like, if you rock, that's what it's about."
Yeah.
If you
And
rock.
like, yeah, I just love that
Doesn't
movie.
matter.
That's my favorite.
Jack Black.
Yeah,
Oh,
it's
absolute
awesome.
classic.
So good.
My favorite movie is probably Valley Girl.
Heck
Never
yeah.
heard of that.
It's Nicolas Cage's debut.
Oh, really?
Starring role, yeah.
Hell yeah. I watched National Treasure 2 last night.
Oh,
Nice.
didn't we
Nick
watch
We
that?
watched National Treasure 1
Yeah.
in New York. What's 2 about?
2 is
It's the same
about.
thing.
I fell asleep towards the end, but basically, him and Abigail broke up in the beginning, and it's basically about him and Abigail kind of getting back together over finding treasure. And also, in the beginning, the old, like, great grandpa, some Nick Gates, I think, he got linked to a conspiracy that he had to do with Abraham Lincoln's murder.
That's
So
right.
he was trying to like resolve that, but then also like the city of gold gets like intertwined in there. And
Just take National Treasure 1, change a couple plot points.
yeah, exactly. Yeah, Nick Cage is just an animal. He is crazy. There's this one scene. If my phone wasn't recording, I'll show you guys after this.
Yeah.
But like, me and my girlfriend were watching it, and like, right and they're in the car. I'll just show it to you. But Nicolas Cage makes this face that's like this. This did not need to be in the movie.
Yeah.
Like, he just it's hard to explain it to context.
That's awesome.
But
What's your favorite movie?
Ooh.
it's just an awful question because there's just so many
Yeah.
movies. Recently I watched Barbarian.
Oh.
That's a really crazy movie.
I still haven't
That's the
seen
one
that,
about
but
the
I-
Airbnb, right?
yeah,
Yeah, that's a really good movie.
Wait. I've seen that.
Yeah.
Is it where they go in those tunnels like after the
In
the ending? I'm not gonna say it, but I was like,
Right.
what the? I was like, what is it? And I remember people in the theater legitimately, everyone burst out laughing.
Yeah.
That's
And-
the one with the water tower, right?
Yes. Everyone just burst out laughing, and I know that that's not what they intended, but everyone just started laughing, dude. It was, you couldn't even help it. It was so funny.
And we all love Green Room, right?
Oh yeah,
no.
Green Room. Have you seen Green Room?
No.
Oh, dude.
What's Green Room?
It's about this DIY touring band that's like on the road, and they're like broke, and they're like, oh man, we're out of gas money. And so they're booked on this club, and then they roll in, and it turns out it's like a skinhead club, and like they're all these crazy like Nazi skinheads, and they're like, oh fuck, what do we do? And they're gonna bail, but then they're like, we don't have money if we bail, so they play, and then they play that Dead Kennedy song, Nazi punks fuck off. In this, and then they get kidnapped. And so it's about them trying to get out of this fucking club, and it's like crazy.
You can tell it was written by a musician because the first
Yeah.
half is literally what touring.
Yeah, it's the
feels
most
like.
realistic depiction because
Yes.
it goes for like their first week of that tour
Oh,
on
sure.
in like and they're playing like coffee shops to like 5 people, and they're like,
Uh-huh.
and then the thing about them is that their band didn't have social media, like they didn't believe in it, so that like has a lot to do
sure.
with no one being able to know that they were kidnapped, and it's like this whole thing.
Oh, it's funny.
But yeah, you should watch it. It's a really good movie. It's
terrifying,
more like
actually.
it's more like ridiculous. It's just like, this is crazy.
Yeah.
And like at the end, it just gets extreme. And you're just like, this is crazy. But it's funny to watch as a band, more like just being
Right.
like, oh shit,
Right.
that's horrible.
Have you seen The Rocker with Rainn Wilson?
Is that about
Damn, I feel like not a
is
lot
that
of people
about
have seen that
the
movie.
kid who loses his hearing?
No, it's a comedy.
Okay.
It's basically like Rainn Wilson was in one of the biggest bands, and they're about to get signed to this huge label called Vesuvius. Or the band was called Vesuvius, and he was the drummer. And then right before they get signed, they said, "We'll sign you, but you have to kick out your drummer." And so he gets kicked out,
Yeah,
and then like 20 years later, he's like at an office job, and then Vesuvius is like basically. Like the Rolling Stones, Def Leppard or something, and he kind of hates his life, and then his like nephew starts a band, and he becomes a drummer, and it like
Dude, we have
it's-
to watch
it's-
that.
Yeah, that
sounds
sounds
great.
good.
That
We should
sounds
watch
good.
that on
Emma,
this
Emma
run.
Stone's in it.
The
It's
Rocker.
a good, yeah, the Rocker.
Hell
One of
yeah.
my favorites. Not a lot of people know that movie.
That sounds
too.
amazing.
Yeah, it's hilarious. Yeah, those like music movies. What's the one with Jack Black? It's a very popular one, but where he's like, it's like a
Is it
musical.
the Pick of Destiny?
Yeah, the Pick
Oh,
of
the
Destiny.
Tenacious D.
Tenacious D,
Yeah,
yeah.
Tenacious
yeah.
D,
That's
yeah.
funny.
Yeah, that's that.
Fucking crazy.
That
was
movie
a-
is pure 100% Jack Black.
Oh, yeah.
Like, if you like Jack
Yeah.
Black, that's the purest form. Because it's, like, just about his band, and he, like, helped write and direct it.
Yeah,
and so
it's
it's just pure... And there's just... Yeah, that is another one of my favorite movies. That's in my top 10, is Pick of Destiny. And it's, like, hilarious because it flopped when it came out. Because I think it was a little too extreme, like... And, like, too much Jack Black. But now it's, like, a cult classic movie.
Then
We
Dave
need to-
Grohl is like the devil.
Yeah.
Yeah, he shreds that guitar solo because they're battling
So
for
funny.
Cage's soul.
Yeah.
Because Jack Black's like, I'll sign your soul over if you pay the rent money or Kyle's soul.
Yeah.
They like have a guitar battle for like the rent money. Just a classic movie. It's so funny.
Hell yeah.
He's good in that other one about that record store too, High Fidelity. That was in like 2001,
That's a good
and it's
one.
just about these record store employees, and it was like one of Jack Black's earlier big movies, but he was just like a side character in it. But even then, in like just the small scenes he was in, like you could tell like he had that energy
He was
still.
his own person.
Yeah, like even way in the beginning.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, because he must have gotten, like, I don't know how old he was in that movie, but he got kind of, like, big when he was older.
Yeah, he didn't like come out of the
We
gate.
need to
with-
bring Jack Black back.
Tenacious
The
D.
Renaissance.
Tenacious D like is still doing huge shows.
He was
like,
just in
yeah.
that Star Wars show.
Oh,
Really?
he was in the.
Andor.
Jack Black was?
He was
Yeah.
in Andor. No, I thought it was
Or Mandalorian, yes.
Yeah.
He's
Yeah,
in
that was. I still.
That was incredible.
I was like, what the hell
Why?
is he doing here?
Like, what was he?
It was
He
just
was
like.
he was like
cameo?
the ruler of a world.
Yeah, it was just like a small
With
cameo. and it
Lizzo.
was-
Lizzo was his wife.
Oh, my
Wasn't,
God.
wasn't Flea in? Was it Mandalorian that Flea was
No,
in?
he was in Obi-Wan Kenobi.
Oh, yeah.
I just watched that. That's how I
Why?
know that.
Yeah.
He's like a gangster in Obi-Wan Kenobi.
That's wild.
And he kidnaps Princess Leia.
Everyone wants to be in Star Wars.
Yeah.
I'd be in
I'd be in
Yeah.
Star Wars.
Yeah.
I'd be in Star Wars.
Are you a big Star Wars fan?
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
If you can't tell.
I just watched, like, all of the Star Wars movies chronologically.
Oh, nice.
I've
That's
never
fun.
gotten into the Clone Wars or, like, the Mandalorian off.
That's
I haven't got
actually-
Clone Wars yet, but I've heard that it's really good.
It's
Yeah.
literally the best Star Wars thing they've ever put out.
Sure.
That's what I've heard.
Yeah.
And I like Star Wars a lot. I like how it's like there's like a whole endless lore behind it. Like you can never learn all of it.
No.
There'll always be like new Star Wars stuff
Have
coming
you
out.
heard of the conspiracy that Jar Jar Binks is, like, the overlord?
Yes.
Like, evil, like,
It's very
what do you
silly.
think of it?
There was some things though that
Convincing
Yeah,
evidence
like,
out there.
yeah,
for
it's
sure.
like, interesting.
Believe me, I watched the video and I was like, I see where you're coming from.
Yeah.
But I think you're pulling this a little out of thin air, but who knows? Maybe.
Where you used to go around and just call me Jar Jar Binks.
I don't remember that, but
That's
yeah,
a huge
I mean,
insult.
Every time he said it, I was like,
Apparently, there's this, like, huge community out there that there's, like, a weird niche, like, Jar Jar Binks kink out there that
Oh,
I don't know, like an off subsection of like porn or something.
that's sick.
That's like Jar Jar Binks.
That's,
Never
I
seen
love
it,
that.
but- yeah.
Yeah.
So you guys, what shows do you guys have for the rest of this tour? So Chicago tonight.
Yeah.
Yes.
Chicago, Indianapolis,
Springfield.
Springfield, Des Moines, Kansas City, home.
Wichita.
And then.
Well, and then we have a break.
Fort
Then we have
Collins.
Fort Collins.
Oh,
Wichita.
Fort Collins, Wichita.
And
Fort
then
Collins,
we have
Indiana.
Colorado.
Colorado.
Yeah.
Oh shit, cool.
playing with some friends of ours at their tour kickoff.
Nice.
Yeah.
And then we have one more show at the end of the year in Lincoln. And that'll be it
Sick.
for this
Yeah.
year.
Nice.
But we're already like booking tours into next year. Like February is
yeah.
already almost done, and like gonna be doing a lot of shows.
How have you guys felt like on the road? You feel pretty like seasoned at this point? Like you're
Oh, yeah.
pretty used to being on the road.
Yeah.
I feel like now more than ever, like it's gotten to a nice point of like it is some. I mean, it's never gonna be like comfortable on the road, but like like we know like where to play, like who to play with, like it's we've gotten to the point where like things just like we figured out. Yeah, like how to
We have,
do
like, a
things.
system.
Yeah.
And
It's
we
not
know
just
just
like-
like how to not get on each other's nerves.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
feel like that's a huge thing with other bands. Like that's been a thing in my other bands, but it's like
Yeah.
we just like if we're in the van, we'll just have our headphones in
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
not fuck with each other.
Yeah.
Well, and
Yeah.
that just takes practice and like maturity to. It's like when you like live when you're roommates with your friends. Like
Totally.
they say not to do that because you'll start argument. It's the same sort of idea. It's just like there's gonna be like when you're living with people in a van. There's just gonna be things that come up, and you just
Yeah.
it's how you handle those things and stay together and know that
Totally.
everyone is on each other's side.
Yep.
And we all have each other's backs, and we're all going for the same thing.
Right.
And like, because there is like an emotional side, and then like the actual side of like playing the music, traveling. But there's a whole other side, like the mental side, where that takes just as much practice, and like it's just as important
Yeah.
as like being you can be great at your instruments, but if the mindset isn't there, it's gonna be tough.
Totally.
I think that's one thing that we really have is that like we're all determined and we all have the same goals.
Yeah.
Like
We all have the same goals, but no like expectation where
Yeah.
people are like, what?
Yeah.
It's like we have big goals, but not like being like we're down to do, like we're just happy to be here.
Yeah, and like we said earlier, like it's like we know that it's stepping stones. Like we know that we're not just gonna get lucky.
Yeah.
Because we've been doing it so long, and we're just like we're not just waiting for it either. Like
Yeah.
we're not,
Yeah.
we don't expect anything to happen, but we're gonna work towards it until.
And like right now is enough for us to be happy. You
Oh,
know?
yeah,
I mean, like,
coming out
we're-
and
we're-
playing the show like that on a Tuesday in Milwaukee, or like a show like Monday in
Yeah.
Minneapolis. It's just like these are great, and like we're just stoked to be like able to play shows like this because it definitely was not like this years ago.
Totally.
So like we can see it coming together just over time,
Yep.
and like if we keep going, the more it'll come together. So
Yeah, that's definitely something I remind myself a lot. Is like you're not gonna. It's not gonna happen overnight, and just enjoying the ride is
Yeah,
the most important
absolutely.
part. Because it's gonna
Yeah.
go by fast.
I feel like if you're too worried about the destination, you don't even experience what the whole storyline is. Like the story is like the whole thing,
Yeah,
and like
crashing
Yeah.
on people's.
yeah, and just like
couches.
meeting
Yeah.
everybody, playing with great bands, playing great shows.
So
like
fun.
that's like we just love to do it, and so like that's why we're gonna do it. Like,
Yeah, I
all
think
the
that's
time.
just like we all just at this point like we just like that's just what we do, like
Yeah.
playing shows and making music together and stuff like that. Like we've done it longer than we haven't.
yeah,
Like
Sure.
so I think now that we've come together and we've all hit this at the same time, like we can really like we feel good playing with each other. Like yeah, like I said, like Mario said, most of the time like we're just really having a good time. Like, and we know when to like back off on each other, and like because it's bound to happen. There's late nights and long drives and early mornings, and some like you're in a bad mood and stuff like that. So learning people and figuring out how to get along, and it's going really well.
What kind of van do you guys drive in? Is it like a
It's a 15 passenger.
Yeah.
Oh
Yeah.
shit, one of the bigger ones.
Yeah.
But it's like a Chevy Express or something, like a 3500.
yeah.
So it's not huge, but it's
Yeah,
it's,
we fought this morning to get everything in. 'Cause
Yeah.
we tour with a photographer as well at all times, so there's 6 people in the van
Yeah.
plus all our gear, and we don't have like a trailer or anything. So
Yeah.
Make it work.
Yeah, we make it work.
That was something that I found on the last East Coast tour I was on. Is like every single thing has its spot. At some point, like
Yeah.
you're really efficient at packing it all in like the right order.
Yes.
Like, after day.
Yeah.
Pretty
Good old van Tetris.
yes,
definitely cool. Well, you guys want to wrap this up? I don't want to hold you too long before heading out to Chicago.
Yeah.
Appreciate you having
Yeah.
us.
Yeah,
Yeah,
this
thank
was
you.
awesome.
Definitely.
Yeah, this
Anything
was
else
very
you guys
fun.
want to plug coming up or?
Buy our new vinyl.
Yeah, we have vinyl.
You can get it on the internet.
Oh, cool.
Wherever I'm sure you can.
socialcinemaband.com.
Yeah.
There you go.
Cool.
Um,
You guys are on all streaming.
yes,
Yes.
all that.
Yep.
And then the new stuff we're getting ready to work on. We're very excited about it. So our spirits are high, and we hope you guys enjoy the music whenever it does come out at some point.
Oh,
yeah.
and we're also gonna announce which record stores have our vinyl soon.
Cool.
So like that's gonna be a big announcement coming up.
Awesome. Well, thank you all so much for
Thank you.
coming
Thank you.
on.
Appreciate
Check out
it.
Social Cinema. And thank you guys for coming on. and
Thank you. Yeah, I
Thank you.
appreciate
Thank you
it.
so much.
Yeah, appreciate it.
It's great.